Hey fam, Den Mother Amanda back here for another live. Um, Great to see you all here again today. Um, Anybody comes on. Most of the time I just pop in whenever I pop in. Yeah, gonna kind of try to take a look at the political landscape a little bit over the last 8 years. See some of the ups and the downs. Trump came into office first time about 8 years ago in 2016, and I think a lot of people don't realize that what was happening politically, at the time, people were just not happy at all with the way things that were going on, financially, financially, economically, and with some other things that were going on. And like the border crossings, were getting bad. Not that they weren't already bad, that they were getting bad, worse. Um, and some promises that he did make, not all of them came true. I think for somebody to put on is what he wanted to do. He put out did do try to accomplish most all of them. Um, Drastically cut down border crossings. For the illegal aliens. I don't use illegal immigration because immigration refers to a legal aspect of it, and when you're coming over the border illegally, it's not legal. And also, I just have this issue with referring to it as illegal immigration when it's not legal. So, um, and I can understand a lot of points of view why somebody would want to come up into the United States, and also there's a lot of crime that comes up when no matter whether the border crossings are more of a minimum or at a higher elevation in numbers. There's a criminal aspect that comes across the border, and the first one is being crossing the border illegally. That's still a crime, whether somebody commits a crime or not. Um, After they get here, of course, there's lots of gangs that come over. One of them that was prominent, quite a while ago was MS-13. I think some of them are still coming up through now. Uh, the trafficker children and women traffickers for work, and that three-letter word that has an S in the beginning, X at the end, and E in the middle. Trafficking. Um, People have gotten sick and tired of it. And plus the availability for having jobs. People want to be productive, and a lot of that is Trump brought that back, more security, and no new wars were started. Of course, yes, we still had the 9/11 thing war going on. There weren't anything. There was no other wars that were started. The economy got built up. People were working. People were making had an income that where they were doing better. And the inflation was greatly reduced. It was under 2%. Average price for gasoline was a little over $2 a gallon nationwide, and people could afford to do things. Support their families and maybe do some extra things. Maybe not a whole lot, but they could do some extra things. And people that were on limited income could start affording things better. Um, and yeah, he's got a yeah, wow. And the way he says things sometimes, I don't always agree with, and how he says what he wants to have come across. I really don't. Some of the things um, doesn't mean he's Hitler or a Nazi, like people they tend to call him. People are wondering why he's trying to be had assassination attempts. Really, none of that's coming from the right. It's coming from the left. I understand if you don't like somebody. It's a lot of major politics on the left. I can't stand them because they're almost as good as useless. But they don't deserve to be called that. They don't deserve to be have an assassination attempt. They don't deserve that. And then the COVID thing hit, and yeah, a lot of the shutdowns were coming from the Democrat side. Okay, I don't think all that stuff needed to happen to the effect that it did, because it hurt people in the long run. It caused more harm than it did good. Okay, yeah, the death toll was, oh man, it sucked, and it really did. Um, and something that came out we didn't know how to deal with medically, and trying to figure out the best way to deal with that. And I think there are a lot of good people on both sides trying to figure it out. And some good stuff came out of it, and some not so good stuff came out of it. And yes, the inflation went up over that. That being the shutdowns. And then when it opened up before the new presidential term was supposed to come up, when Biden and Harris took office. The economy the inflation went back down to under 2%. They were handed a relatively, considering what had happened, an economy that was getting better after a major pandemic, and being with all the shutdowns was starting to get better. Okay, I didn't vote for Biden or Harris, and even though they won, I was optimistic. Maybe they'll do better than what I'm thinking. Maybe in some areas they did. Our economy tanked out again. Inflation went up to, oh God, if I'm remembering right, over 9%. And finally come back down to somewhere over the course of 3 years or more, is still a bit up over 3% inflation. People going hungry because they can't afford food, or going homeless because they can't afford a place to live, or they can't afford a place to live and to eat at the same time. And people on limited incomes, they've got to make a choice. What do I want to do? Do I want to eat, or do I want to live indoors? And I know that's happened to people. It's happened to me. I've had to make those choices between, do I want to live indoors or do I want to eat? And thankfully, I've got a multitude of friends and family that helped me out, and I'm very grateful for that. My Lord, I am so grateful for that. Um, I think some other issues that come up during the last 8 years is the medical transition of children, and I call it the medical butchering of children, medical butchering and mutilation of children. Because a child does not know what they really want for sure. but they want to do this affirmation of therapy, and it's saying, "Hey, I'm trans," and okay, yeah, you're trans. Here's your medication. Go to the surgeon and get operated on. Okay, where detransitioners were less than 1%, less than half a percent of all the people who started went down the transition medical transition journey. Okay, and it's due to children. Let's just say this: all of us that are adults remember what it was like when we were children. How could we decide? How did we know for sure? We changed our minds all the time about a whole great many of things. Nothing as drastic as that. A permanent physical, medical, and psychological change that comes along with medical transition. Okay, do I agree with mental health therapy for children? Absolutely. Get them to mental health therapy. Get them to help do the response. We need to be adults about this and be responsible. Get them the therapy they need, not the affirmation therapy and not the therapy that tries to talk them out of it. Okay, the therapy that researches, okay, what has gone on in your past? Why are you believing this? That you may be trans. And okay, yes, some children end up being are when they say they're trans, a very small, less than 1% that say they're trans end up staying and remaining trans. And that's without puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones. Still remain trans. When children are allowed to go through puberty, it works itself out. Maybe they're LGB, lesbian, gay, or bisexual. Maybe they're straight. Maybe they do go on to medically transition. And it's right. And it's the right thing for them to that particular person to do. And where it used to be, well, for the medical transition, 90% of the people that were transitioning was from male to female. Now the increase from female to male transgender has gone up by over 4,000%. And why? Well, that might have been maybe 10 to 15%. Now it's more than half. Makes up more than half. Something's no. And it's a lot of it's coming from the Democrat side where we're going to medically transition these children, which I believe is child abuse for a multitude of reasons. Okay, they don't have the option to go through the normal puberty from birth. Okay, and like I said, most of it works its way out just by going through puberty. Now, if it's real, it's going to be seen. It's going to be known with the extreme discomfort of being born the sex that they were. Okay, and what's really barbaric and idiotic is mental health people have told parents that, well, do you want a dead child or do you want a living trans child? That licensing should be revoked, disbarred for scaring parents willfully and intentionally, knowing for you to have a better than 90% chance of knowing that you're freaking wrong. And you know it. People don't like that. Not to mention that the children, when they go through this at a young age, they going through the puberty blockers. They say it's reversible, and no, it's not reversible. Lupron, a popular hormone, a popular puberty blocker, was created to treat cancers, and it was given to convicted sex offenders to destroy their hormones, the hormonal system, to destroy their need and want for sex. And you're going to give that to a child? We all know this is true, but all those activists don't want to admit it anymore because they want to make the money off of transitioning children and butchering them and mutilating them. Every detransitioner that started young as a child, 100% of the time when they detransition are unable, it is not reversible. They're unable to have children. They're unable to experience pleasure, romantic pleasure. On top of the other mental health issues that come with it. Finding out that was the wrong thing for them to go through. And they just be siphoned, they were siphoned into it. Okay, and that played a big part on this most recent election. That the economy, the border, when it comes to safety. It's pretty sad when you can go to a major city like Manhattan, because I've seen it, with National Guard patrolling the streets with their weapons, with M16s, because of the criminal element that was come through with over 11 million people illegally crossing the border in the criminal element. And people want to defend it. No. Know exactly what it is. It's just, this isn't everybody's sign Democrat side when it comes to this, okay? But a good amount of them, most of them, is to get the votes, to hold on to power. And the economy has tanked. And now, again, I'm on unlimited income the last almost 4 years now. I still had to make choices. Do I want a place to live or do I want to eat? Grateful I've had friends and family able to step up and help out. A lot if I've had to make those choices, others have had to make those choices, and how many people have families and children to feed? Because the prices of groceries have gone up exponentially. Gasoline prices have gone up exponentially again. Jobs. And Biden and Harris want to claim that they've created new jobs after they came into office. No. They may have created a few. More than 90% of it was refilling the jobs that came back because the economy, the country was shut down. People were going back to their jobs they had before it was shut down. That was more than 90% of it. If we take an honest look at it, that's what it was. Really, take an honest look at it. That's exactly what it was. jobs that they had that were good, people were going back to. There wasn't this excess job creation, that they were talking about. Not like were talking about. There wasn't. And yeah, like I said, I get it. A lot of people don't like Trump, especially with the abortion thing, and I get it, and I understand that. When people have to decide whether to put food on the table and keep a home, and they know that Trump had a better economy, how do you expect people to vote for? How do you expect people to vote? People have gotten tired of it. When it comes to basic living necessities that a lot of people were falling short of because of the economy, the Biden Harris economy. Maybe people that were voted for Trump this last time voted for him, even because even if they didn't want to, because they knew the economy was going to be better. Security and safety at the border was better. We're talking about safety from illegal immigrants coming over, and a lot of them were committing crime, and affordability to be able to put food on the plate on the dinner table for their family and children. What are they going to choose? And people have to decide between their daily living, the minimum daily living, and the other. What do you think is going to be more important when they're faced with keeping a home for their family and putting food on the table? And whether abortion should still be a federal mandate. Which one are more people going to choose? Are you going to feed your family and keep them in a home? Or are you going to vote for abortion? To be back at a federal thing. Okay. Abortion hasn't gone away. It's been delivered back to the states where it should have been to begin with. Okay. And I know a lot of people want that to be part of the thing because there are states that are abolishing other than medical, rape, or incest. Okay, and I can agree with those. A little touchy on the R and I, but I can definitely agree with all three of them. Okay, and an abortion up to 3 months. Even though I don't like it up to 3 months. I don't like it being used as a birth control thing. And yes, it does happen as a birth control thing. And there's back and forth whether it's the higher part or not. It still happens as a birth control. Okay. Somebody doesn't want to have kids, don't have sex. That's what it boils down to. Because even protected sex, you can still have a child can still be created with protection, taking precautions. No, and it's trust me. Take a look at what the procedure for a DNC is for an abortion. Take forceps, and they rip the body parts off of the unborn child. Rip the head off. A lot of times it comes out crushed and ripped off. They rip the arms and legs off. They put them in a tray, count the body parts to make sure they're all there. So the mother doesn't bleed to death because of missing body parts. And I understand it. There's a lot of things I can understand on when it comes to that, and a lot of some things that why I can't. So enough on that. And, God, and it's just it's become unrealistic where nobody wants to just sit down and talk and have an honest talk about things, bring up truth on things that are happening and not happening. Where can we meet in the middle, somewhere, somehow, some kind of way that will progressively work better for all of us, no matter what side you're on? It's the way this country was set up to do, be able to do. And it's sad that it's come down to, with all appearances, it's my way or no way. And it's sad. Sometimes it's just, okay, because it doesn't have to be like this. And the spending on the free money, free food, and free housing for immigrants when we still got homeless veterans that are living on the street and going hungry. That's just outright sickening. Sickening. Because if it wasn't for the vets, nobody in this country would have what we have. Nobody. But you want to medically butcher trans children, and you want to kill the unborn. Yes, I said kill the unborn. Which, yes, I can understand doing that because of extreme medical things, or the R, or the I. When it comes to that, yeah, R and I should not happen. Okay, I can agree. I can agree with having that done. That's what the mother world really believes that she needs to do for her sanity, is for her mental health. Okay. Now you really got to look. Yes, I'm more conservative. I've also in the past have voted for Democrats because what they proved to do and what they have done has made sense, and I've agreed with more than I have the conservatives. But when it comes down to it, I'm a constitutionalist. Totally 100% support the Constitution of the United States of America. That's what allows us to have the freedoms that we all of us have, to be able to say and do as we wish, as long as we don't bring harm to others. And people on the left talking about, well, you can't say that. Well, what can I say? I really try not to say stuff that's hateful, but that's still protected speech, no matter who it's coming from. The speech that is absolutely illegal is calling for harm to someone or some people, calling for harm. It's not hard. I tend to get emotional over things that we believe in, and it's hard not to. It really is hard not to sometimes. Yes, it's just coming down and meet somewhere and talk, work things out, because there's going to be give and take on both sides. Can be give and take on both sides. It's the way it works. The only way it's going to work. Um, and go from there. Take what we can agree on. Start doing those things. Work out the rest is okay. Especially with the way things are going today, especially the wars that are going on. We got three or four different countries that, oh boy, Russia, China, Iran, I think one other. Hmm. Palestine, they have a hatred for America. Some of these countries have nuclear power, they're nuclear capable. Things don't change with that. It's we could be seriously looking at another world war. And I would rather have somebody in office that knows how to talk with these people and hopefully be able to get them to simmer down and settle down and stop this crap. What scares me is this next another world war is going to be the big daddy war, a nuclear one, because there's countries out there that aren't afraid to use them. And if another world war breaks out, where do you think they're going to aim them at? Aim them right here, this country, because they know we are the biggest, largest military power in the world. Got the largest navy, the largest army, the largest marine force, the largest air force, and now a space force. We're going to come here. Oh, guess what? Push the button. Guess what? Push them towards America. How many of you people live in in or near where defense contractors work at? Those are the first places targeted: defense contractors and military, and the capital, the U.S. Capitol. I just hope it doesn't come down to that, because we don't. This President Trump that has got elected again, is going to be able to settle things down. I believe he's going to try with all his might to do what he can do. And he's getting a good staff in front cabinet with him to help accomplish that goal. All I know is we can't afford to keep going the way we're going when it comes down to, oh, well, okay, just don't do that. Stop it. All I know is there's just some severe changes that need to happen with a whole lot of things. The economy. People want to work and be able to have a low inflation, low grocery prices, low gas prices, so they can feel secure and being able to support themselves and their families. That's been beaten up the last almost 4 years. I'll say 4 years. Uh, Not that other things are not important because they are. There are things, other things too that are important. Let's talk about the abortion issue. That's an important topic for everybody. For everybody. Um, the economy is important. The illegal alien crisis is that it's important. When people feel that they can't afford to take care of themselves and their families and their family, and they don't feel safe, and with the things that are happening because of the illegal immigration, not safe. They have to be a priority. They have to be a priority because we have to live. We have to be able to afford to live, and we have to be safe. Children have to be safe, not only because of for two big reasons: the trafficking and gender mutilation. I call it gender mutilation because that's what it is. Um, our children are the ones that are going to be taking care of us. We got to do things that are going to be able to put them in a position to be able to do that and still be happy, reasonably happy. There is hope. There's always hope. That's why we all need to come together, no matter what side we're on. Figure things out that are going to be better instead of this my way is the only way and no other way. That doesn't work. It hasn't been working. When does that stop? When does the my way and my way only stop? So it's something to think about. What can we do? What kind of arrangements and agreements can we come up with that help the most? It's not going to be perfect. It never will be perfect. But things can be better if we're willing to let go of the my way is the only way and no other way. Prayers and love for you all. Sincerely. Have a great rest of your day, no matter what part of the day you're in. Until next time, have a great day.